Today we're talking about roofing SEO and how you as a roofer bring extra knowledge and insight that you can partner with SEO to make a very powerful website, because you know what it's like to sit across from your customer and you know what kind of questions they're going to ask. You know a lot about the materials and the service that you provide, and when you partner those experiences and that knowledge with the tactics of SEO, you can have a very powerful website. So now there's your typical SEO tactics, that some of which you probably are aware of, such as keywords. That's like the first thing you're going to want to do is research what sort of keywords are good for your industry. And we know some of them, like roof replacement, roof repair, things like that. But as a roofer, you bring extra knowledge to that area. You know products that your SEO person might not know, such as like underlayments or types of shingles or types of roofs, things like that, which you know your customers are going to be typing into Google, and you can partner those keywords with other roofing keywords and build out your website that way. So to start roofing SEO, you want to start off by doing the keyword research, and you want to go after backlinks. That would be another thing to go after. Backlinks are anytime another website has a link to your website. It's kind of like they're voting, in a sense, to communicate to Google that your website is valuable. Next would be content. Content is anything visual, audio, or text that you create on your website, and you want to build out as much content as possible related to your keywords, related to your services. And there's a certain amount, like the length of your article, you want it to be substantial. You don't want just like a short page. So I would say no less than 600 words per page on your website. And once you have those pages set up, the keywords, you're working on backlinks, you also want to do internal links, which is where you have pages inside your website pointing to each other. That would be internal linking, and you want to use keywords. So for example, if you have a page about roof replacement and in there you reference underlayment, turn that into a hyperlink that points to your underlayment page, that sort of thing. And then you want to make sure that your meta description is filled out. A meta description is when somebody types in a keyword on Google and it comes up with all the options. You know how there's the blue text, that's the meta title, and then underneath of that there's like a short description of your website, that's the meta description. And you want to make sure that both of those are filled out using the keywords and communicating to your customer what your page is about. And then the last thing I'll mention here would be the location pages, which location pages are a dedicated page for a city and service that you provide. So roof replacement Baltimore, or roof repair in Baltimore, and then you can build out content for that city and that service. Now, those are some of the key SEO tactics that you can use. Now, but if you're looking to hire an SEO agency to handle your marketing, a few things that I would suggest going after would be making sure that they can show you proof of their work. So whenever they manage a website, they're going to have stats on the work that they've performed. You'll be able to see graphs that show that, when they started, the company was here, and 6 months later, the company is here. So you want to look for organic traffic increasing. You want to look for the total number of keywords, like when they started working with the roofer, they had 200 keywords, now they have 2,000 keywords, something like that, right? And then also how many of their pages are showing up on the first page of Google. And are the keywords that are showing up on Google, are they actually applicable to the service that you want to rank for? So those are things that you can ask an agency. They should be able to show you those sorts of things. If you want to do SEO by yourself, one of the things you could do is you could hire an SEO person to audit your website, and it would be like a one-time thing. They audit your website and they give you a strategy, and then from there you can take that strategy and implement it. Another thing that you could do to get started on your SEO is connect your website to free tools like Google Search Console and Google Analytics, And both of those are going to give you a lot of data on your website to tell you how it's performing, what people are doing when they're on your website. It will tell you whether or not your pages are actually indexed with Google, like can Google actually find your website. And Google might be able to find your website. They might not be able to find every page on your website. That's what Google Search Console helps you with. And then inside of your website management software, so let's say if maybe you have a WordPress website, there's typically a plugin that you can purchase, and or there'll be a free version that will also help you with some of the SEO stuff. So they'll kind of give you bullet points to follow, and that's a good place to start with SEO. And let's say that you've done your research and you have some keywords. So how do you use those keywords on your page? Because you can't just throw a bunch of keywords up there. Google will be able to tell that you're keyword stuffing, and that's not what you want. So the best way to use keywords, one is you want to get it in the URL. That helps communicate to Google what your website's about. Next, you want to have it in the header, the H1 header of your page. And after that, you do want to use it in the first paragraph. You want to use it in the meta description, meta title, but you don't want to use it too often. So if it doesn't sound natural, it's probably a good idea to avoid it. Because you also are speaking to the customer when you're writing your content for your website. So remember that some of the places to put the keyword are for Google, some of it is for the end user. And if you have a blog or an article, let's say about 600 words, you could use the keyword 6 times. If it's 1,000 words, you could use it 8 to 10 times. There isn't an exact science number that I could give you, but it's just the idea of more words, that you have on the page, the more you want to increase it. I hope that helps. If you have any questions about SEO, please leave a comment and I'd love to talk about it with you.